What's up everybody, this is Epic Wolf Gaming, and today I have some pretty aggressive gameplay with a weapon that I never seem to use. It is the mw3. The reason I really don't use this weapon, I almost find the gun too easy, and I tend to like stay away from weapons that are too easy. I don't know if it's just because, I don't really know. But I decided to go ahead and see how many kills I can rack up in one game, and I'll admit, I wasn't playing against the best of players this game. But, no YouTube star does. So, what I wanted to talk about is what is hot, and what's hot right now is the Black Ops 2 Multiplayer Trailor. And I'm going to talk about what I thought of it. And, if I have some time, I'll throw in some things that I wish they would do. Kind of a little wish list, but, not really a wish list, but just cool ideas, I think. So the first thing is the first scene, which was a guy who was playing in what appeared to be a free-for-all setting, and he was running up this little airplane. The maps seemed pretty cool to me, but they also seemed a little rush-heavy, which is kind of the way mw3 maps are, and I don't know if I would like that, but he was running in a free-for-all, it appeared, and he spotted two enemies as he was up on this elevated area on this plane, and he threw two, I don't remember what the names of them were, but they actually seemed to be like throwing knives, because he threw them like a throwing knife, and they stuck to the ground for about half a second or so, maybe not even that, and then exploded and stunned the enemies. So they appear to be, maybe this is the new stun grenade, I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Maybe if you hit somebody, will it stick to them and do damage? Maybe it'll kill them, who knows. The weapon he was using as well is kind of interesting. The bullet gauge went back, well, I don't know if it went back, I don't know if it ever was numbers, I don't remember. But it changed to numbers, which I kind of like, but it's more of a preference, I guess. And it's not a huge deal. But they changed to numbers, but what was really interesting is it said, select fire burst, so that he had his gun in burst mode, and it killed both enemies in one burst. So I don't know if maybe that's the way it's going to happen. Maybe most of the assault rifles are going to be in burst mode, but I don't know how it's going to balance it. Maybe certain assault rifles will have a unique feature in burst, and maybe they will some rifles would take 2 shots to kill, like 2 bursts. I don't know, but he seemed to clean them both up with one burst. Maybe that was a burst fire weapon, who knows. So the next thing is also the kill streak counter is back, and I'm gonna get into a little bit of the kill streaks when we cross that bridge. The next clip actually shows off this what appears to be an X-ray vision red dot. So a guy he ADS's, and he notices, you notice there's like a little, kind of like a pan, almost like a UAV pan across his scope, and he notices there is a guy coming around the corner through the wall. So he stays ADS and he waits for the guy and he cleans him up, and then there was a little bit of smoke from, I'm guessing someone threw a smoke grenade, and he dolphin dives over this little wall. They're bringing back the dolphin dive, which I think is kind of cool. And he ends up shooting a guy through the smoke with the help of that little X-ray vision kind of scope, which is interesting. I'm a little bit concerned about that. I don't know if they're going to have a stopping power perk, because if they have that, X-ray vision, they're going to have something to counter it. And if there's a perk like, I don't want it to be another Black Ops 1 where, Ghost is everywhere, because it was the only perk worth grabbing from the perk 1 list. So then you see later on, a guy kills a little dragon fire drone. It's basically like this little drone that you can control, and it shoots what seems to be pretty powerful minigun. He kills it in about 20 shots of his magazine. Obviously, I'm sure, there was a little bit of misses in there, so it goes down pretty easy. Also, you see a little bit of, clips from the dragon fire, and you also see a guy use a stinger on it. It didn't really have any flares, so that's a good thing. It's pretty balanced in that aspect. Another one is, I don't know why I watched that, really. I think I was just like, oh, I thought I was close to a Moab, but no. So another clip shows a sniper, and this one is actually pretty interesting because he had 2 rifles, which includes maybe there is an overkill perk, and he had a semi-automatic, what appeared to be pretty high caliber rifle. He takes a guy out, semi-quick scopes him, and then he switches to another sniper rifle, but this one was actually a bolt action, and it did not have a scope. So they're bringing back the scopeless bolt action snipers, which I really, really love. Another interesting clip was this one clip in particular with the hybrid scope. This guy had an LMG, and he had the hybrid scope. Now, what I really liked about this was it was a red dot and an ACOG rather than the hybrid scope being a scope of its own, with this thick frickin' obtrusive frame that takes away over half of your screen. I really hate that. But that was pretty interesting because what he did when he zoomed in, it originally zoomed in to the red dot sight, and then he flips over to the ACOG sight. I don't know if that's going to be kind of like a double tap. You tap it once, you go to the red dot, you tap it again, you go to the ACOG. Nevertheless, it was pretty interesting. He had a bridge in front of him, and there was a couple guys going across the bridge. He wipes out one guy who was shooting at his teammate, and the teammate dies, and he puts down what looks like a sonic, like a kind of sonic wave emitter, or like something like that, and it stuns the enemies and slows them down. He was able to clean them up. I don't know if that's a kill streak. I kind of, in a way, hope it is, because it almost looks like it would be pretty powerful. It seemed to slow him down quite a bit, and if it does, you know, unless it was kind of put on to make it look cool, then, and, you know, you don't actually have that much trouble aiming, kind of thing. It's kind of what I'm trying to say. I'm stumbling over words, and I apologize. But, like, it seemed like those guys could not hit him at all. So, who knows? Another interesting clip was a guy running around with a revolver, and he takes out one dude, and he was completely out of ammo, and he switches to a combat knife. This includes that combat knife it might turn into a gear now, instead of actually being, a type of just panic, weapon that you could just slash whenever. But I don't know. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of what happened to Black Ops 1, however, with the ballistic knives, and we all thought that those were going to be a secondary weapon, but this one looks like it's just a combat knife. Tomahawks are coming back, which is very interesting. Riot shields, that's another thing. There was a clip with a guy who had a really weird scope, and it almost looked like the scope was targeting enemies like a kill streak would, which again takes me back to the point where are they going to have a perk similar to, like cold-blooded, but are they also going to have stopping power? Because that's what made it balanced, was you had the stopping power as your killing perk, and then you had the cold-blooded or UAV jammer or something like that as your stealth perk, and it kind of made you a little bit more, hard-pressed for stealth. But the riot shields were interesting because you see a couple guys coming up, and then they like set them down, like they deploy them or something, and then they switch to their weapons, which I'm sure if you do have something like that, you're probably gonna... It looked like they had submachine guns, but it looked like they were able to deploy it and then kind of switch over to submachine guns and shoot people through it. I don't know how that's gonna turn out. Another thing that was interesting in that clip was that also showed what looked like another assault drone coming in. So, pretty interesting. What I thought of it when I was watching it, I thought it was really cool. There's quite a bit of different stuff, which actually leaves me to be a little bit nervous on how they're going to counter it all. But either way, 60-14, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me what you guys thought of the Black Ops 2 multiplayer trailer. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.